Okay, go over here and lie down.
You have no idea what it's like trying to make a film around here with the dog, the dog handler, and several other dogs and cats and kids running in and out. I'm telling you, I'm about ready to crack. Okay. This little boy issue of age 6, kissing a little girl's hand, even after she said no, is not an uncommon. It is not an uncommon. Shut up, dog. It's not uncommon for a kid, okay? It's very, very normal. And then when you tell him not to do it again, he's going to do it again. Why? Because he forgot that you told him not to do it again. He's 6! Oh, and this chase game goes on from preschool clear through high school. This is how they learn about their own sexuality, their own boundaries, you know. A 6-year-old doesn't know boundaries except that they want to hit somebody in the arm. Usually it's the little girl hitting the boy in the arm, and he is trying to kiss her cheek or her hand. Something, anything. Or if she's on the swing bars, and if she's swinging upside down and has a dress, he definitely wants to see her underwear. Believe me. And it's true. And we're not talking about child pornography. We are talking about children, their actions, and how they react, and why they react. They were born that way. If you did not act that way, or for whatever reason, you are of rare form. We like rare people. Enjoy them. I like studying rare people. It's coming from a girl with a rare disease. I have raised so many children that have played the catch game. Run, catch, punch in the arm, punch in the nose, that if you freak out over everything a child does, you will grow old. Not only that, you look crazy in front of the neighbors. That little boy did nothing wrong. What was wrong, though, is the press that printed his face, that said his name, and that made it into such a sensational story that it blows my frigging mind. Colorado must have, I know they have not too much oxygen there. I came from there. But, you know, we were talking about Colorado tonight at this Christmas party that I was at. And, you know. Well, anyway, since the majority of the room, I don't know how many, 50, all said, yeah, the little boy was totally humiliated. And the little girl, her parents flipped out, and their behavior is a bad thing for the little girl to see. Because basically, all she's doing is saying, don't kiss me. It's the cootie factor. That's what cooties are. And if she doesn't want kiss, then move them from classes, you know. Babies in daycares will crawl over to another baby and touch no other baby and bite them. I've seen it. It's just rude, you know. The kid's bleeding. Or they'll crawl over and kiss that other baby, mouth open, right on the face or on the mouth. They're babies. When adults can learn to understand what babies are and mean, and from day one on, I mean, teachers know what the hell they're saying, you know. And if they're extremely religious and go a little nutty about this, like this newspaper has done, then of course I would take my child out of that school immediately, because that little boy did nothing wrong. It was completely normal. And the little girl, can't stop her from being upset. She's upset, then we'll put a little sign on her back, no kissing. You know, but I'm not kidding you. This is like normal stuff. And the parents blew it out of proportion, and the press should be sued. Now, on to attachment disorder, since we're right into it. As you all know, Boston had attachment disorder from the time that I got him, and he was it was serious. It was serious enough that Washington Technical College, who also educates new people who are going to have daycares or want a license to operate a daycare, recognized the problems. And there was problems. Not all, people say, oh, they swear, they do this. Well, some do, yeah. And some bite, and some just hit and rip apart a room. These kids have been never held before or touched. Most of the kids that have attachment disorder are from Croatia or Russia. And then there's children from the United States that have never been held or touched. They come from addictive families. And you have attachment disorder. It's real, but it's not to some of the extremes that I was reading. It's extreme, by the way, and it can be very heartbreaking and even dangerous. But as a parent, you have to know how to deal with it. Don't hit the kid. Don't yell at the kid. And if you get really exhausted, you go to the Salvation Army, buy yourself 2 boxes of plates, take them into the garage, and start breaking them. Because that's the way you're going to have to curb your temper when it comes to these kids. They're hard. I do not. Boston went through attachment disorder with Rebecca in Kirkland, Washington, and after the 5th session, and I'll be honest, I said no more. It's cruel. It was the toughest thing I've ever seen done to a 2-year-old, ever, in my being. And you're talking to an abused kid. I snap him out of it, she'd say. If he can't adjust, you can go pull weeds. I said, he's 2. Snap out of it. She beat the shit out of him over cigarettes. It was bad. It was real bad. So anyway, I agree with Dylan on the authors of these attachment disorder books. And, I've read a lot about attachment disorder. I've had to deal with it. I've had to, you have no idea. And Boston runs after every little girl he sees and tries to kiss her. As they're screaming, no, and then come back and say, where'd you go? That's one thing parents don't pay attention to. So, went from problem with 6-year-old boy to attachment disorder to 14-year-old boy thinking of nothing but girls and hormones. And he's not Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, the 6-year-old, is not, nor will he ever be. If that is the case, then every guy is going to be born to be a rapist, a killer, whatever. The whole thing is nuts. Children will be children. And if they're harming each other, that's different. There's other signs to look for that are more serious, but kissing is not one. Okay? Now, you don't have to agree with me. I can tell you what I know because I damn am an expert in it. Sorry. I mean, I've dealt with so many kids out there. I've dealt with so many kids in here. I've dealt with tiny ones and big ones. Pediatricians, psychologists, psychiatrists, children's hospital. I mean, seriously. Seriously. Is this a debate or just something to keep one busy? Because from my view, and I'm over here, the person that everybody likes to ignore. Yeah, hi. Enough is enough. That little boy did nothing wrong. He's a normal 6-year-old child. It's the adults, the people who have made their minds go through the mud, that is the issue, not the kids. Not either kid. They're just kids. Kids! Good God.